أولئك كالأنعام بل هم أضل أولئك هم الغافلون. Indeed, they are like cattle. Indeed, they are more misguided. Indeed, these are the heedless. He knows that he is not in a good state at present. He knows he's done much better previously and he can do better. And he knows that he's weak at this present moment in time, and that hardness is something that is experienced in the chest of the believer. And he experiences it. He feels the fact that he's not affected by kalam or by speech or by the maw'idha. He's not affected even, subhanallah al-azim, when he recites the book of Allah. He hears it being recited. There is no reflection upon its words, no reflection upon the kalam. There is no feeling of remorse when one is reminded of sin. There is no feeling of joy when one is reminded of the akhirah and that which Allah Azza wa Jalla has prepared for the believers. There is no effect. Kalimat bas. That is the state of the heart at that time. And that is when, ikhwan, the heart is at its absolute worst. When the Quran, the speech of Allah, is just words. And as beautified as the recitation may be, there is zero effect upon the individual because of where he is. And then he attends the khutbah and ayat and ahadith, and there are people affected by the kalam. But he didn't even realize until he heard somebody weeping. He wasn't even listening until he heard somebody weeping that something serious is being said. And there are states that the believer goes through where his heart, ayyuhal ikhwa, is hardened. And so to discuss some of the reasons and some of the causes of this hardness of the heart, that we may flee from it, we might mention, ayyuhal ikhwa, of some of the affairs that have been indicated by the people of knowledge as being from the affairs and from the asbab of the hardening of the heart. The first of them, ayyuhal ikhwa, is what we've already been mentioning, ghafla. That is heedlessness. And ghafla, ayyuhal ikhwa, is important for us to reflect upon the fact that ghafla is not jahl. There is a difference between jahl and ghafla. Jahl is that a person doesn't know. Ghafla is that he knows, but he turns a blind eye to what he knows. And he puts it to the back of his mind and he doesn't reflect upon it or act upon it. He doesn't allow it to affect his heart. He's not energized by the knowledge that he has. And so he is ghafil, is in a state of ghafla. And this ghafla, ayyuhal ikhwa, is from, without doubt, the worst of the states for the heart to be in. For indeed Allah Azza wa Jal has discussed the affair of the qulub and the state of some of the qulub, and the fact that Allah Azza wa Jal has prepared Jahannam for particular types of hearts. Ayat that we'll come to, inshaAllah. And from the ayat, ayyuhal ikhwa, that is of importance that we reflect upon it. Statement of Allah Azza wa Jal in Surah A'raf, وَلَقَدْ ذَرَأْنَا لِجَهَنَّمَ كَثِيرًا مِنَ الْجِنِّ وَالْإِنسِ لَهُمْ قُلُوبٌ لَا يَفْقَهُونَ بِهَا. They have hearts that Allah Azza wa Jal mentioned that we have prepared for Jahannam. And of course, ayyuhal ikhwa, when we're hearing the mention of Jahannam, this is something that we're trying to flee from. Allah mentions we have indeed prepared for Jahannam many of the ins, many of mankind and jinn. The first characteristic that Allah Azza wa Jal mentions concerning them, لَهُمْ قُلُوبٌ لَا يَفْقَهُونَ بِهَا. That they have hearts that they do not understand with, have no fiqh with those hearts. Hearts are present, no doubt. And it may well be, ikhwan, that they have intelligence, intabi. And we must make a difference between having intelligence and having understanding. How many intelligent fools do we know? It's not an oxymoron, ikhwan. Intelligent fool. Many of them, mashallah, bright. And a budding brain. But foolish, very foolish. We come across them on a regular basis. And so Here Allah Azza wa Jal mentions that indeed we have prepared for Jahannam many of the jinn and mankind. They have قلوب لا يفقهون بها. They have hearts that they do not understand with. وَلَهُمْ أَعْيُنٌ لَا يُبْصِرُونَ بِهَا. And they have eyes that they do not see with. وَلَهُمْ آذَانٌ لَا يَسْمَعُونَ بِهَا. And they have ears that they don't hear with. And of course, ikhwan, these are receptacles of listening to hidayah and khair and ilm and barakah and good. But these people turn a blind eye, deaf ear, and a blind heart. For indeed, it is the qulub. It is not the absar, as Allah Azza wa Jalla has mentioned. It is not the sight that is blind, but the heart allati fi sudur, that are in the chests. And so Allah Azza wa Jalla mentions in relation to certain individuals, those who are on their way to Jahannam wal iyadhu billah, from this most striking characteristic of these individuals is that they have hearts that they don't understand with, ears that they don't listen with. And of course, ikhwan, there's a difference between hearing and listening. You may well hear, but you're not listening. You may observe something, but you're not seeing. And this is real utilization of the organs that Allah Azza wa Jal has given you. Real utilization. And not just, ikhwan, that you're just heedless, just as animals and cattle and sheep see and hear and have hearts, that we are just the same. The only thing that we're concerned with is how to fill one's stomach and where we're going to receive our next buck from. There's no difference between that and the animals, ikhwan, that Allah Azza wa Jal has raised. In fact, the animals are better because you have that which supersedes them in relation to the fitra and the aql and the brain that a person has been endowed with. And so the animal, ikhwan, that does as Allah Azza wa Jal has created him to do is better than you. Better than the one that is heedless and has ghafla and doesn't pay attention. So the first of the affairs, ayyuhal ikhwa, is the issue of ghafla. Indeed, Allah Azza wa Jal mentions, أُولَٰئِكَ كَالْأَنْعَامِ بَلْ هُمْ أَضَلُّ أُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْغَافِلُونَ. That indeed they are like an'am, they are like cattle. Indeed, they are more misguided. Indeed, these are the ghafilun, these are the heedless.